individual reading. So please try to join between 3 to 6 anytime. And also you can volunteer to read any sloka or any chapter if you want, either in Kannada or English. Anything is fine. You can just read the only the translation part of it. It would take about 3 hours time. So prepare without any disturbance, sit in a calm place. Then between 3 to 6, we can continuously read the translation of all the 18 chapters. So by reading that, you will, reading entire Bhagavad Gita one. Second thing, we get to know what is there in Gita. So thank you very much. Without any delay, I would hand over to Suresh Prabhu. Prabhu, over to you. You want to share your screen, or you want me to share the sloka? I can do that.
Yeah, I can share for you.
Yeah, please.
Just do,
Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, just do Kirtan for a minute, Prabhuji, before we start.
Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe Radhe, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman, 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 Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva, Subhadramai Jaya Sudhashara, Jaya Gannatha Jaya Baladeva, Subhadramai Jaya Sudhashara, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Prahlad, Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Prahlad, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Prahlad, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Prahlad, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील
Jai.
प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
गौड़ प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल, all glories to the single devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. I would like to thank Gaur Chandra Gopinath Prabhu for giving me an opportunity to serve with whatever capacity I'm able to do. Please forgive me if I am committing any mistakes. I'm still learning. So if there is anything good which I am speaking, it is all because of all the senior Vaishnavas who has helped me to learn this. On this note, I just would like to do the prayers before I start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे I just share my screen. Thank you everyone.
Yeah, Prabhu, we are able to see that.
So we are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 on this auspicious month of Purushottamam. So just would like to just give a touch base as to how this chapter 15, like there are three sections of Bhagavad Gita, 1 to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 18 as such. So this is in the part of Jnana Yoga, at the last part of the Bhagavad Gita. So the first chapter in the Jnana Yoga, basically chapter 13, starts with the nature, basically talks about Prakriti and Purusha and also consciousness. Right. So these are the three things. So that chapter 13 is further classified into three chapters, 16, 14, 15 and 16. So chapter 14 is basically the three modes of the material nature, which is Prakriti, and chapter 15 is the Purusha, basically this Purushottama Yoga, and chapter 16 the divine and demonic qualities, which is the consciousness. Those are the three consciousness. So chapter 13 is basically divided or further explained in 14, 15 and 16 as such. So we are in chapter 15. So we would like just an example which I have heard about this. So it is like with those three modes of material nature, we are bound by those three modes of material nature, which is like if we have been put in a jail, if we understand, like we are behind the bars, there might be something called as the bars can be made out of gold, the bars can be made out of silver, the bars can be made out of iron. So the gold is something like the mode of goodness, right? And silver is in the mode of passion, and in the mode of ignorance is iron bar, right? Whatever is it, we are still bound by those three modes of material nature. If we have to come out of those three modes of material nature, there is this key which is there in the chapter 15, right? So which is the Krishna himself. So he is the one who is going to give us that knowledge or the key from to come out of that three modes of material nature, which is explained in this chapter. Once we go through it, I think yeah. Now that we know the background, I'll just go through the, how chapter 15 is divided, and the last section which we are going to do is a conclusion part, which we will go through. So I think already till verse 15 we have completed. So basically this chapter as well is further divided into Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. Anyways, we'll come to that at the end. The first 6 verses of this talks about how we can attain liberation is by detachment. So we have an example of upside down banyan tree which was given. How we can attain liberation is basically by detachment process. How detachment can be done is explained there. Further to that, in 7 to 11 verses, so if we are not able to achieve detachment, what happens to us? We are going to get bondage, and if we are bonded in this material world, so what happens to us is transmigration. So we will be going through the cycle of birth and death. So that is what is explained further. Even though we are in the cycle of birth and death, the next 3 verses, 12 to 15, Krishna is assisting, whether we are in this material world or spiritual world. So Krishna is going to help us. So Krishna in these verses has explained us how he is assisting us in our material existence via the sun, via the moon, via this, the different things which Krishna is helping us. And in that verse as well, Krishna has explained how he is to be known by all the Vedas as well. Vedascha sarva aham eva vedyo. So Krishna is saying that by all the Vedas I am to be known. I am the essence of all the Vedas. That is where we have learned, discussed till verse 15. Now we will go through 16 to 18, which is the essence of the Vedanta, which is also called as Three Sloki Gita, which is basically going to give us the Sambandha part of it, and verse 19 gives us the Abhideya part of it, and verse 20 is going to give us the Prayojana part of it. So we'll go on, try to learn, try to read from 16 to 20. I'll open Veda base from which we can read those and further discuss those verses we are going to read. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 and verse 16. So I'll read the verse and someone can help to read the translation and the purport. So Dvau imau purushau loke ksharas eva chaya ksharaha sarvani bhutani kutasto akshara uchyate. Someone would like to read the translation purport, please?
Yeah, Prabhu, I will do that. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. And the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Purport. As already explained, the Lord in his incarnation as Vyasadeva compiled the Vedanta Sutra. Here the Lord is giving, in summary, the contents of Vedanta Sutra. He says that the living entities who are innumerable can be divided into 2 classes. One, the fallible and the infallible. The living entities are eternally separated parts and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When they are in contact with the material world, they are called Jiva Bhuta. And in Sanskrit, the word is given here, Shara. Sarvani Bhutani mean that they are fallible. Those who are in oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, are called infallible. Oneness does not mean that they have no individuality, but that there is no disunity. They are all agreeable to the purpose of the creation. Of course, in the spiritual world, there is no such things as creation. But since the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra, is the source of all emanation, that conception is explained. According to the statement of Supreme Personality of Godhead Lord Krishna, there are two classes of living entities. The Vedas give evidence of this. So there is no doubt about it. The living entities who are struggling in this world with the mind and five senses have their material bodies which are changing. As long as the living entity is conditioned, the body changes due to the contact with the matter. Matter is changing. So the living entity appears to be changing. But in the spiritual world, the body does not made of matter. Therefore, there is no change. In the material world, the living entity undergoes six changes: birth, growth, duration, reproduction, then dwindling and vanishing. These are the changes of the material body, but in the spiritual world, the body does not change. There is no old age, there is no birth, there is no death. They all exist in oneness. Shara Sharvani Bhutani, any living entity who has come into contact with the matter, beginning from the first created being Brahma down to the small ant, is changing its body. Therefore, they are all fallible. In the spiritual world, however, they are always liberated in oneness.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here Krishna is talking about how the different types of beings are divided as such. So Krishna is saying that there are two kinds of beings. One is fallible and infallible. By fallible, we mean that we are like whoever are conditioned as such. And there is one more class which is called as infallible, like they are liberated. They are not conditioned by these three modes of material nature. The conditioning is like we are conditioned by the three modes of material nature. Once we come out of these three modes of material nature, then we will get liberation. So that is what infallible. So we are in this world, like whoever is there in this material world, they are called as fallible. They are conditioned by those three modes of material nature. Whereas if we are going to go to the spiritual world, we all will be in that state of a liberation, liberated stage. So here Prabhupada has explained in his purport very nicely that whoever are in contact with the matter in this material world, they are all called as Jiva Bhutaha. Right. So they are like conditioned by this material, three modes of material nature, whichever is there. And whoever are liberated, they are going to be called as infallible. So the same thing which Krishna also saying here, right? Oneness. So whoever is liberated, so they are like in oneness with the Supreme Personality. Right? By oneness, it does not mean they don't have individuality. Everyone is different at the same time. Right? By oneness it means like we have all the same desire as that of the Krishna to be serving him always as such. And also here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statement as well, like that Achintya Beda Abeda. So that is what it is. So like we are all like in the same in quality as that of Krishna, and we are in different in the sense we are quantity wise we are different. So whatever qualities Krishna possesses, we also have the same qualities, right? But we don't have it in the same quantity as that of what Krishna possesses. Krishna possesses them in unlimited quantity as such. So whatever we have is like very very limited to that extent to us are the material bodies. And also it is said that whatever qualities Krishna possesses, we have, like we all have like knowledge, right? Sachit Ananda Vigraha. So we also have like we are all eternal, like the soul which is there, it is like an eternal thing, right? Sachit is like we have knowledge, our knowledge is very limited though. Ananda, we are also having bliss, but that is all in limited quantities. Right, and here Krishna is also talking about like whoever is there in material world, we are going to have this matter. The body is made out of matter. Like we have blood, bones, and mucus, these kind of things. Because of which it goes through these six changes, which is like birth. Once we take birth, we will be growing through, and then we'll have duration and reproduction, and then dwindling and vanishing as such. These are the changes which are there only in this material world as such. We will not have these changes. Once we go to the spiritual world, it is like a permanent thing. So we will not have any changes to our appearance as such. So it is like a permanent aspect. Like we know Krishna, when he was saying the Bhagavad Gita, he was 96 years old, but he was still looking like a 16-year-old boy. So that's how it is. So he is a spiritual, transcendental as such. So he will not have any changes, right? So in the spiritual world, there is no old age, no death, no disease, that kind of a thing. So we all wish to go there. So that so what to do? Krishna is going to explain in coming verses what we should be doing. And whenever we talk about this, like beginning from the first being, so the first being who is created is Brahma. From Krishna, Brahma has been created, right? So from to the like the he is the first being who has been created, and from there till the small ant, everyone is going to change its body. That's what we are saying. And we are all like fallible, like we are all conditioned by this modes of material nature. So we are all conditioned souls. So once we go to the spiritual world, we all will be liberated and we will be in oneness with the Supreme Lord. Okay, we'll go to the next verse, which is verse number 17. उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्या परमाते उदाहृताः यो लोकत्रयम् आविश्य बिभर्ति अव्यय ईश्वरः.
Prabhuji, I'll read.
Thank you, Mataji.
Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Purport. The idea of these verses is very nicely expressed in the Katha Upanishad 2.2.13 and Shvetasvatara Upanishad 6.13. It is clearly stated there that about the innumerable living entities, some of whom are conditioned and some of whom are liberated, there is the Supreme Personality who is Paramatma. The Upanishadic verse runs as follows: Nityo Nityanam Chetananam. The purport is that amongst all the living entities, both conditioned and liberated, there is one supreme living personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who maintains them and gives them all the facility of enjoyment according to different work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. A wise man who can understand Him is eligible to attain perfect peace, not others.
Thank you, Mataji. So I think in the previous verse, we have understood there are two kinds of beings, right? Fallible and infallible. So there is the third person, or there is that third, right? So which is like we should not understand Krishna belongs to either of these two categories. So here Krishna is telling that on top of these two, there is this great super soul, right? Supreme soul. There is this greatest living personality, super soul. He is imperishable Lord Himself, and who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. So Krishna has entered into the three worlds, and he is also the maintainer. So we have seen in the previous verses as well, 12 to 15, how Krishna is helping to maintain all these worlds as such. And he has entered all the three worlds as Paramatma. So he is there in every living entity as a Paramatma. And here Prabhupada has given a nice explanation like how we should understand this from the Upanishadic verse, where it is saying that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vididati Kamam. So by that it is saying that we are all like same thing, like we are all like eternal and we are all having same cognizance as that of the Lord. But Supreme Lord is the one who is maintaining all of us. So we are not like independent, right? We are all like dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For us, if the sun is not provided, right, we will not be able to like see anything as such. So everything is being given to us via the sun, moon. Everything is working under the direction of Krishna. So without him, he is the one who is maintaining us. So we should not think that we are independent. we are always dependent beings. So many people might say that things like that, that they are independent, they don't care about the Lord. But we, whatever we say, I think there is that nice example which comes like whether a thief, whether he agrees, whether he knows that there is government, whether there is no government, it doesn't matter. He is still going to be punished when he is going to be caught. So it is like that. So whether we agree to it or not, Krishna is there. He is going to be doing the maintenance, whether we do it right or wrong. Right? So Krishna is there, who is maintaining it, all of it, and also if we wanted, like we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, that's how we all have come here, and we are suffering in this material world. Right, so Krishna is saying that he will give us all the facilities. Like people might think, ask this general question as well. Krishna would have given everything and taken all of us back to the spiritual world. Why is he having bad things as such? It is our wish. Like, so Krishna is saying that gives them all the facility of enjoyment according to different works. So whatever we desire, whatever we wanted to do, Krishna will approve it, or he will just say this is good or this is bad. He is not the one who is taking the decision. At the end of the day, it is us as an individual soul who is taking the decision whether we wanted to take the right path or whether we wanted to go in the wrong path as well. Krishna has given so many instructions in Bhagavad Gita to take to the right path and virtuous decisions, like which is what needs to be done once you have taken this human form of life. So after taking so many instructions, we should go into that right direction. And also he is saying that he is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. And a wise man, Krishna has said this multiple times, only an intelligent person will be able to understand him. So a wise man who can understand this is eligible to attain perfect peace. So once who understands this, the Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only he is at peace. So you can ask anybody, your friends or neighbors, whomever you ask, everyone, if you ask one question, how are you? Everyone will say, I am good. So that is all just coming from the face, right? We are all struggling in this material world with the three kinds of miseries which we have, the four problems which we have. So everyone is struggling. No one is at peace in this material world. Krishna himself has said this is a place of Dukkhalayam and Ashashvatam. So you will not be having any temporary. Whatever we have is all temporary, and it is all not permanent. And we will be always having cycle of birth and death, and we will be always having miseries in this material world. That is how this place has been created. So we cannot tell we are not, we are all happy, we don't have any issues. Everyone will have, whether it might be president or whether it might be a CEO of a company, whoever it is, everyone will have their own challenges and problems in their life. So, but one who understands this thing, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is, we are all his eternal servants. He is the one who is attaining that perfect peace. No one else will be able to attain that perfect peace as such. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. Okay, we'll go to the next words. Maybe I'll take the questions at the end, or if anyone has any questions, maybe they can stop and ask.
Yeah, Prabhu, you mentioned about this Sambandha Videya Prayojana. So this sloka comes under which category, Prabhu? This set of slokas?
As I understood, 16, 17, 18, all of them comes under the Sambandha aspect of it.
16, 17, 18. Now we are moving into the...
Yeah, 16, 17, 18, all comes under the Sambandha aspect of it. Then 19 is the Abhideya, and 20th is the Prayojana. So still we are in 18th verse, so we'll just go.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Thank you. So chapter 15 and verse 18. Yasmaksharam atitoham aksharaadapi chottamah atosmi loke vede cha pratitaha purushottamah. Somebody wants to read the translation?
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Purport. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul. He is therefore the greatest of personalities. Now it is clear here that the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are individuals. The difference is that the living entities, either in the conditioned state or in the liberated state, cannot surpass in quantity the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is incorrect to think of the Supreme Lord and the living entities as being on the same level or equal in all respects. There's always the question of superiority and inferiority between their personalities. The word Uttama is very significant. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Loke signifies in the Purusha Agama as confirmed in the Nirukti dictionary. Lokyate Vedartho Nena. The purpose of the Vedas is explained by the Smriti scriptures.
Continue, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, there is one more para. You can read that as well.
Oh, sorry, Prabhuji. The Supreme Lord in his localized aspect of Paramatma is also described in the Vedas themselves. The following verse appears in the Vedas. Tavad Esha Samprasado Smatcharitrat Samuthaya Param Jyoti Rupam Sampadya Svena Rupenabhinishpadyate Sa Uttama Purushaha. The Supreme Soul, the Super Soul coming out of the body, enters the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Then in his form, he remains in his spiritual identity. That Supreme is called the Supreme Personality. This means that the Supreme Personality is exhibiting and diffusing his spiritual effulgence, which is the ultimate illumination. That Supreme Personality also has a localized aspect as Paramatma. By incarnating himself as the son of Satyavati and Parashara, he explains the Vedic knowledge as Vyasadeva.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So in this verse, Krishna is saying that he is, after understanding that he is a transcendental and he is beyond both this fallible and infallible, and he is the greatest. He is saying that I am celebrated both in this world as well as in the Vedas as the Supreme Person. So in all the Vedas, whichever Vedas you take, every Veda will tell the same thing, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And wherever you go, whether it is the material world or in the spiritual world, he is the one who is being respected as that Supreme Person. All the respects, he is the one who is going to get as such. So here there are two things which is clearly being called out. Uttama, so he is very significant as such, and no one can surpass that Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we were discussing in the previous verse as well, nobody can say that they can themselves be independent, they are not bound by the laws of the nature. No one will be able to go surpass these laws of the nature. Krishna himself is the only one who is controlling all these things. So only by his grace we will be able to come out of these three modes of material nature or the laws of the nature. Everything we will be able to come out only with his mercy as such. Right, and here at the end, Prabhupada is giving an analogy, or basically explaining that the illumination, or basically the effulgence which is coming out from the body of Krishna, is called as Brahma Jyotir. So we have three kinds of understanding which we have, like basically one is Brahma Jyoti kind of a realization, right? And the other thing is like Paramatma kind of a realization, and the last one is Bhagavan kind of a realization. So in, it is said that Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti iti Shabdate. So there are three kinds of realization. Different kinds of people will have different kinds of realization basically. So the Jnanis will have this Brahma Jyoti kind of a realization, right? And the yogis will have this Paramatma kind of a realization, and the Bhaktas will have Bhagavan kind of a realization as such. Right, so what comes out, right, there are these people who get stopped at the Brahma Jyotir level. So they have only the knowledge, they'll think that only the light or the effulgence which is coming out from the Lord, they think that only till there is what is the topmost as such, what they think, and they wanted to go and reach the Brahma Jyotir as such, right? And the next kind of realization is like the Paramatma kind of a realization. And but the bhaktas, or the devotees of the Lord who want to render service to him, will go further up and then want to have this realization of Bhagavan. So So and it is said at the end. So whoever is saying this is written. All this Vedic knowledge is given to us by Vyasadeva, who is born to Satyavati and Parasara. So Krishna himself has incarnated in the form of a Vyasadeva to give this Vedic knowledge to all the living entities, right? So that we will get this knowledge to understand him, because somehow or the other, because of our thoughts that we wanted to be separately enjoying from Krishna, we have come to this planet. But he wanted to help all of us, so he has come in the form of Vyasadeva to give us this knowledge and to take us back to the spiritual world again. So we should be following these Vedas, whatever Vyasadeva has written, and understand this and follow this, so that we can go back to Godhead as. So we will maybe discuss further on that aspects in the coming verses as to how we can go back, right? So this is what it is here. And maybe here it is this is also saying that Krishna, people might think Krishna is impersonal as such, but here it is saying that Krishna has a form and he is having he is not formless. Okay, so we will go to the next verse, Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 and verse 19. Yo mam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. You want to read the translation purport, please?
Shall I read?
Okay.
Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. Purport. There are many philosophical speculations about the constitutional position of the living entities and the supreme absolute truth. Now in this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead clearly explains that anyone who knows Lord Krishna to be the Supreme Person is actually the knower of everything. The imperfect knower goes on simply speculating about the absolute truth, but the perfect knower, without wasting his valuable time, engages directly in Krishna consciousness, the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Throughout the whole of Bhagavad Gita, this fact is being stressed at every step. And still, there are so many stubborn commentators on Bhagavad Gita who consider the Supreme Absolute Truth and the living entities to be one and the same. Vedic knowledge is called Shruti, learning by oral reception. One should actually receive the Vedic message from authorities like Krishna and his representatives. Here, Krishna distinguishes everything very nicely, and one should hear from this source. Simply to hear like the hogs is not sufficient. One must be able to understand from the authorities. It is not that one should simply speculate academically. One should submissively hear from Bhagavad Gita that these living entities are always subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who is able to understand this, according to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, knows the purpose of the Vedas. No one else knows the purpose of the Vedas. The word bhajati is very significant. In many places, the word bhajati is expressed in relationship with the service of the Supreme Lord. If a person is engaged in full Krishna consciousness in the devotional service of the Lord, it is to be understood that he has understood all the Vedic knowledge. In the Vaishnava Parampara, it is said that if one is engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, then there is no need for any other spiritual process for understanding the Supreme Absolute Truth. He has already come to the point because he is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. He has ended all preliminary processes of understanding. But if anyone, after speculating for hundreds of thousands of lives, does not come to the point that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that one has to surrender there, all his speculation for so many years and lives is a useless waste of time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So this is the Abhideya part of it, where Krishna is saying that how we can approach him. So that is what is being explained here. So Krishna is saying that whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting, he is the knower of everything. So it is like know Krishna, know everything. So KNOW, know Krishna, know KNOW, everything. So that is what it is. And know Krishna, NO, know Krishna, know nothing. So basically, without understanding Krishna, you will not know anything as such. We might say that yes, I know everything, but without understanding what Krishna says, right? So we will not be actually knowing anything at all. We might simply say yes, we know a lot of things, but it is not to be understood it that way. So, and he's saying that after we understood that Krishna is everything for us, what we should be doing? So it is saying here, he therefore engages himself in the devotional service to me. So once we understand this aspect, now we all understand, we are reading through this, so we are understanding this, Krishna is everything. And by knowing Krishna is that we will be understanding everything. Once we all understood that, so what we should be doing? We should be doing full devotional service. Bhajati. So bhajati is like render devotional service. To whom? To the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So that is what is being explained. So how do we do devotional service, right? So we will not know by ourselves what we should be doing as such. So what is a devotional service? We will not understand. So we should hear this knowledge as to how we should render this devotional service is explained, right? So we should hear this Vedic knowledge. So if we read by ourselves, we will have our own mental concoction by which we will understand it. But we should understand this through disciplic succession as such. Krishna is saying that evam parampara praptim. So by disciplic succession, right? From Krishna, this knowledge is coming to everyone down in the disciplic succession, in the Guru Parampara system as such. Right, so Krishna is saying, Prabhupada is saying that we should be understanding this through authorities like Krishna, like Arjuna, from whom he has heard directly from Krishna as to what we should be doing, right? So likewise, are his representatives, whoever is coming in the disciplic succession as such from Krishna himself, like Prabhupada. Prabhupada is in the Acharya disciplic succession. So we should hear from an Acharya like Prabhupada for us to be able to understand what we should be doing. So we should hear, so we should have a guru, basically that's what it is saying, by which we will be able to understand how we can do the devotional service as such. So once we have a guru, how we can approach and how to get his knowledge is also explained, Krishna is explained in the previous chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So Krishna is very nicely said that how we once we know, yeah, we have to do devotional service. So we know we have to do devotional service. Once we know we have to do devotional service, how to do devotional service we can know only by finding out from spiritual master or from a bona fide authorities to gurus, right? So once we know, yes, okay, this is the person whom I will be getting knowledge. So how we can go and get the knowledge from that person? So he is saying that you have to go on submissively here, or even if you are questioning that person, like if you have anything, right? We should be not in the challenging mood as such. We should be always very, very submissive. In that mood of a submissiveness, if we are asking the question, and we should be also rendering service to that great authority, great acharya, right? After we render the service, and then in the mood of submissiveness, if we are going to ask that question, so what happens after that is like that Jnaninas Tattvadarshinaha. So he has already envisioned, so he knows the absolute truth. So he is going to impart that knowledge, whatever he has, right? The knowledge about the absolute truth, he is going to impart to us after we do this kind of thing, like in the submissive mood and also in the mood of a service. So that is what we should be doing. So without doing this, if we are going to understand it in any way, right, that is all not going to help us. That's what it is saying, that one should submissively hear from Bhagavad Gita that these living entities are always subordinate to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is said that we are all like subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And anyone who is able to understand this according to Krishna knows the purpose of the Vedas. So once we know that that we are all subordinates, right? Whatever is a subordinate, right? If we take any situation as such, whoever is a subordinate to some person, what does he do? He will always be serving the person who is on top of him, isn't it? So whoever is a subordinate, if there is a boss on top of him, all the duty of the subordinates is to serve him. The same way, right? We all are subordinates to Krishna. So what is our eternal thing is like constitutional position is Jive hai Swarupa hai, Krishner Nityadas. So we are all like eternal servants of the Lord. So we understood that Krishna is the super most being and he is the supreme personality of Godhead. We understood that we are all subordinate to him. Once we know we are subordinate to him, our purpose is to always serve him, right? So that is the only purpose of the Vedas. All the Vedas are going to tell us the same thing, that we have to render devotional service to the supreme personality of Godhead. So and it is saying the same thing. And one whoever like with people might say that no, I'll try to find out myself, I'll try to do this speculation. Basically they don't want to listen from the Vedas, right? They don't want to listen from the acharyas. They will have their own mental thing. By speculation they will be trying to understand who Krishna is, or who is supermost human being. That's kind of a thing. They will be trying to understand it by themselves, right? After so many hundreds and thousands of lives as well, they don't come to this point of understanding that Krishna's personality, supreme personality of Godhead, their entire so many lifespans is of no use. They have wasted their time. So that is what it is. So we should not waste time trying to do mental concoction or trying to do speculative analysis of things. So likewise, there is that example. So if you wanted to know who our father is, right, by practical ways, we have to go and ask a mother. Mother will be able to tell us who is our father. But if you wanted to go in an experimental way and try to find out who is our father, it may take hundreds and so many of years for us to be able biologically to find out who is our father as such. So that kind of a thing people are doing with the speculative analysis, who trying to find. So that is all waste of time, is what Prabhupada is saying, after so many years or so many lifetimes as well. So we'll go to the last verse, maybe before we summarize. So this is the Prayojana part of it. So what is basically the goal, what we are going to get once we do the how to do what we can do, right? So verse 20. Iti guhya tamam shastram idam uktam maya naga etad buddhva buddhimamsha krita krityascha bharata. Somebody wants to read the translation purport, please?
I will read, Prabhu. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures. O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will come wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Purport. The Lord clearly explained here that this is the substance of all revealed scriptures, and one should understand this as it is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, one will become intelligent and perfect in transcendental knowledge. In other words, by understanding this philosophy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaging in his transcendental service, everyone can become freed from all contaminations of the modes of material nature. Devotion service is a process of spiritual understanding. Wherever devotion service exists, the material contamination cannot exist. Devotion service to the Lord and the Lord Himself are one and the same because they are spiritual. Devotional service take place within the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is said to be in the sun, and the ignorance is called darkness. When there is a sun is when then where the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Therefore, whenever devotion service is present under the proper guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, there is no question of ignorance. Everyone must take to this consciousness of Krishna and engage in devotion service to become intelligent and purified. Unless one comes to this position of understanding Krishna and engages devotional service, however intelligent he may be in the estimation of the some common man, he is not perfectly intelligent. The word anaga by which Arjuna is addressed is significant. Anaga, O sinless one, means that unless there is free from all sinful reaction, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. One has to become free from all contamination, all sinful activities, then he can understand. But devotion service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in the devotion service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness. While one is performing devotional service in the association of pure devotees in full Krishna consciousness, there are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing one has to surmount is weakness of the heart. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over the material nature. Thus, one gives up the transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord. The second weakness of the heart is that is one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature. He becomes attached to matter and the possession of matter. The problems of material existence are due to this weakness of the heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from this weakness of heart, and the rest of the chapter, from the 6th verse to the end, through the end, discuss the Purushottama Yoga. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Purushottama Yoga, the Yoga of the Supreme Person.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So here Krishna is saying that once we have understood that we have to render devotional service to the Lord, right? So Krishna is saying that the most confidential part of Vedic scriptures is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise and his endeavors will know perfection. So it is saying that once we know that we have to render the service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is a perfect thing which we should be doing. So whatever we do, all our endeavors will know perfection. We know what we are doing. So we are all going to do whatever we are doing. We are going to do in the mood of the servant of the Lord or the servant of the mood. So once we know this, all whatever we are going to do is going to have perfect nature as such. So the Lord clearly explains these things in the scriptures. So whenever the Lord, the devotional service to the Lord and the Lord Himself are non-different. That's what Prabhupada is trying to emphasize here on. Right, so we do devotional service in many ways, right? So there are 9 different processes of bhakti which we can do. So any of the ways which we are going to do, we are still be associated with the Lord. So they are not non-different from the Lord Himself, right? And in this Kali Yuga, right, the name of the Lord is non-different from Krishna Himself. Kalikale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. So the name and the form of the Lord are non-different in this Kali Yuga. Right, so we are associating, so that is also a kind of devotional service like Sravanam or Kirtanam. So when we are doing the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, so we are still doing devotional service of the Lord. So that way we are associating with the Lord directly. So the name and form is not different. Krishna is in the form of the name in this Kali Yuga as such. So we are all trying to take to this process of chanting of the holy name to associate with Krishna, to re-establish our lost relationship with Krishna as such. So we were all like eternal servants, or we were all in the service of the Lord always. But due to our association with matter, so we have come to this stage where we have forgotten that Krishna is our Supreme Father and we are in this material world. So we have to re-establish this connection by chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Right, and Krishna is saying that wherever there is sun, right, there is no question of darkness, right? So where we have sun, there will be no darkness as such. Likewise, wherever there is Krishna present, so his effulgence will be always there. So there is no question of darkness as such. So once we understand this, right, so we have to take to this, like, who is going to give us this knowledge? Who is going to get rid of this darkness from us? Is like the spiritual master. So he is the one who is going to give us that knowledge. Who is going to give us that knowledge? Right. So we have this verse as well, which says that Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya. So he is the one who is going to give us that Chakshur Militamena. So our eyes are blinded with the darkness of ignorance. So he is going to clear that thing with the torchlight of knowledge, right? So he is going to give us that knowledge for us to be able to see that there is light beyond this darkness. So we are going to take to that spiritual master who is going to impart this one. And there is one more word which is Prabhupada is saying, Anaga means sinless one as such. So as soon as we are doing devotional service to the Lord, right? So if we are doing a pure devotional service, so then we are already out of this sinless stage as such, right? So we are automatically qualified that we will be not doing anything which is a sinful activity. So we all should take to this devotional service of the Lord. So here in the last thing, Prabhupada is trying to explain that we are not able to do this because of the weakness of the heart, right? There are 2 things which happens because of the weakness of the heart. First thing is that we'll all try to think that we are the lord of everything. So whatever we possess, right? So we think that this is mine and I am the boss of this. Right, that is the kind of an attitude everyone possesses, right? Thinking that they are the lord of this material nature. They are whatever they are owning, they'll say I kind of a thing, right? So that kind of a thing shouldn't be there. So once we have that kind of an thing, that we think that we are the lord of that particular thing, what happens to us is basically it causes the bondage as such. So once that bondage is there, we'll always be in this material world. So we'll not be able to go out of this material world. Even in the first five verses as well, we have learned, right? We wanted to get the detachment as such. We wanted to cut down the tree of using the axe, which is called the detachment. So once we detach ourselves from this material world, we will be able to go back so to the spiritual world as such. Until unless we will not be able to go back to that. Maybe I'll just quickly go through what to summarize what we have discussed, right? In 16, Krishna told there are two kinds of living entities which are fallible and infallible. So this is what is chapter 16 is saying. Oh, sorry, verse 16 is saying that fallible and infallible are the two kinds of living entities which are there. And in verse 17, Krishna is saying the super soul aspect of it is discussed, and he is saying that he is master of both the living entities and he is the greatest living personality. He enters the three worlds and he is the maintainer of it. And in the verse 18, Krishna is saying that himself is the super soul, celebrated both in the world and the Vedas as a supreme person, and he is transcendental beyond the fallible and infallible, and he is the greatest. And 19, he is saying that one who knows without doubt Krishna as a Paramatma engages in full devotional service, right? Who is the knower of everything, who knows me as a supreme personality of Godhead without doubting. Result, what happens to that is like one engages in full devotional service to the Lord. And in the last verse, he is saying that Krishna is saying that knowledge explained in this is the essence of the Vedanta. One will become wise, and endeavors will know perfection. The qualification is we are automatically be sinless. So this is what I was talking about, understanding of the Vedas. One can understand the Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. So Sambandha is like one we should try to understand our relationship with the God, where verse 16 to 18 has explained that we are fallible and infallible kind of a thing, where and super soul Paramatma is there. So that kind of a relationship we have. We are liberate the conditioned soul and the super soul is there. So this kind of a Sambandha relationship we should understand. And Abhideya is like how we can approach him is explained, like we have to do a devotional service, right? That is what is Abhideya. Prayojana, we will be able to attain the supreme personality of Godhead, or we will be able to get the love of the God. So love of Krishna is what is the Prayojana which we all are looking for, which is explained in the verse 20. So these are the 20 verses 5, 16 till 20, and this is the summary of this chapter, basically breaking of material attachments, right? So which we discussed in the first few verses, how we wanted to break this material attachment by detachment as such. Understanding the position of living entity, we all should know that we are all Jiveha Swarupa Krishna Nityada. So that is our eternal position. We are always the servant of the Lord. And understanding Krishna as the maintainer, Bhagavan, source of living entities, and he is both the Brahman and Paramatma and Bhagavan. So this is what is the thing which we learn. We also seen how spiritual world is like in Natat Bhashato Suryo Nashashanto Napavakaha Edgatva Nanivartante Tadama Paramama, that kind of a thing. Krishna has explained whoever goes to his planet will never come back, and he said he is providing the sun and the moonlight, because the moonlight a lot of vegetables are there and those kind of things. Having such knowledge, one surrenders. So once we know that Krishna is the supreme personality, we will be surrendering to him, and one becomes one in desire and service with the Lord. So we wanted to be serving the supreme personality of Godhead. And finally, the last word, that is the prayojana which we will get, is basically one attains Krishna. Krishna's love is what we will get, or we will be going back to Godhead. All this is possible only because of our endeavor. So we wanted all to find out the spiritual master, in the, which is said, and we should render service to him very nicely. He will impart us the knowledge, and he will help us how to go back to Godhead. I'll stop here. Is there any questions which anyone is there?
Prabhu, you can go to the Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana part of it. That slide, what
Sure.
you had. So thanks very much, Prabhu. It's a wonderful, comprehensive summary for us to remember. It is already time. I don't want to hold the devotees, but I would like to put 3 pointers in their mind to to contemplate on this. The 3 points which I'm going to talk now. Prabhu, you go back to that three Sambandha Padaya Prayojana. And if you want have you have more time, you want to discuss, I am available and Prabhu is available. But if it is late, that's fine. We can discuss tomorrow. But I want to leave these thoughts with you to contemplate today. Now, everywhere you can see, Sambandha part of it. Krishna says, Agam Sarvasya Prabhu, everything emanates from me. I want the control. Sometimes when read Bhagavad Gita, we think, he says, Mamevamsa Jivaloki, you are part and parcel. He says, I am supreme, I am supreme, I am supreme. But I've never seen any other Puranas or Idigasas, some Devatas claiming there are Skanda Purana is there, Shiva Purana is there. No one be boldly claiming like Krishna saying that, I am the supreme, it's without doubt. Sometimes we might think why Krishna is so proud, but he is the one who does that. So he is claiming it. The second part of it, the Abhideya part of it, the verse 19 is very very important. This is the summon bonum. If you have to remember all the time, Krishna says you have to surrender to the Guru for taking the devotion service. Then the darkness will spell. My question is that why do we need a guru? I am chanting already. I know Krishna is the supreme. I have accepted him as the supreme personality of Godhead. I have taken to devotion service. Why there is a need for me to surrender to a guru? What does it happen? Because all the things Prabhupada has written, the book is there, the knowledge is there, I can read and devotees are helping me to read. Why still I need to go and surrender to a guru? The third part is the prayojana, which is Krishna says that you will cut the material birth and death, you'll come to me. That is the goal which we want to achieve. So we are not doubting on Sambandha where Krishna says I am supreme. Prayojana, yes, we know we want to achieve. But Abhideya, sometimes people, the reason for people not taking Krishna consciousness very seriously is that there is no urge for to surrender to a person who is coming in any of the sampradaya, bona fide four sampradaya, to take a surrendering to the guru. The importance of guru is something is lacking. If that is lacking, then probably people will take it little slow in progressing. So you need to understand why the guru is required. I am stopping here because the time is already running out, but I am available if you want to discuss or ask question or you want to put your views. I'm okay. Otherwise, we can stop here. Thank you very much. But think about why we need guru. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we'll stop here. Please think it about it, but you can write to me or later, or you can discuss on this topic. But this is very important. If you want to take one thing in the takeaway in the chapter 15th, that we need to take devotion service and we need to surrender to the Guru. That is the one thing you should keep always in the mind. That is the one tangible, or I would say the important, very important takeaway for this 15th chapter. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.